We've taken a look at Ryu, Fei Long, Chun-Li, Ken, Dalsim recently, and now we'll be taking a look at Mr. M. Bison himself.
Of course!
Alright guys, welcome back. Today we're taking a look at the Jada Toys M Bison. This one actually came same time as Dalsim. However, after I did the Dalsim review, the Earthworm Jim arrived and I decided to put that one out there just so people would have the info, since there aren't that many videos out there on it. But without further ado, let's take a look at Bison. As usual, starting with the packaging. Alright, so let's take a closer look at the packaging. We have unique artwork for M. Bison. At the top, same sort of motif. We have the same artwork we've seen. Nice picture of M. Bison in the back there. Getting close to a full roster. Country of origin unknown. I actually thought about Thailand, unless they retconned that. Fighting style Psycho Power. And this has the artwork on the side here that we've seen before. Same cutout on top. Legal information below. Let's unbox this, take a closer look at the figure. So, plastic shield comes off. He, for a change, actually does come with some instructions. Let's take a look at it. They're just explaining how to attach his cape and a shoulder pad. We're armed with scissors, and we're gonna clip all the little bands we see. So he does come with 2 gesture hands. Does have the Psycho Power effect, which goes on the fist. Really cool. Sort of not as squishy as Fei Long's, but it still has some squish. Does have the really cool face sculpt. You could actually see those dot pupils in there. Actually, we see the sculpting on the teeth, unlike Ken. So maybe I'll give that a wash. So it'll stand out a little more. It does have 2 alternate shoulder pads, so if you don't want the cape, you can put these on instead. So before we take the figure out of the package here, I just wanted to show that the cape is stuck through. So you might just want to sort of make them a little bit small, so as you're pulling out the figure, it does not get snagged or anything. Though it doesn't seem like it would tear, but you know, just in case these edges get kind of sharp. Alright guys, let's take a closer look at Bison. As you can see, with the wired cape, I guess we should start with that before we get into the figure. It does have wire going down all of the edges, so you can shape that however you choose to and have that windswept however. These pins, I don't think they're removable, but the shoulder pads are just so one popped off, but they're really intended to pull off from the back like that. They sort of clip in and push down, or at least that's how the instructions intended it to be. And it does stay on pretty securely. I haven't had any issues where they popped out as yet. So I think for the purpose of this, we will pull them off. And I do actually have left or right written on it, LOR. So that's nice.
Like I said, very nice material. Wouldn't mind finding out what material this is so I could try my hand at making some capes. It does seem like some kind of nylon. So for the rest of the review, I think I will put the replacement pads on just for being able to see sake. And of course I just had to drop that one. Sec. So, and these are the same. It does have the letters. Oops. So you're meant to put them at the front and then push down at the back to sort of clip them in, but I find it's probably a safer bet to just kind of put your finger in there and clip it in. You wouldn't want it ripping off. So let's take a closer look at the details here. We have this face sculpt, looks really nice. Kind of like the all white eyes preferred, and then the pupil. The little emblem on the hill of the hat there is very clean. There's a little thing on the end here. Really nice. No blemishes on the shoulder pads either, so that's good. Paint on the blues, very clean. This belt, however, don't know what happened here, but very, very messy on the black parts here. The gold is good. And then they didn't put any paint on the top here. So, kind of sucks, but... And they missed the line completely on the back here. So, that's something I might have to touch up, otherwise that might bother me forever. Another thing I noticed is that this very messy around the elbow area here in terms of molding. Don't know what went on there. It almost looks like it's chewed up a bit. Maybe that's just my figure. Same on this one. All the other joints do look nice now. The bands on the hand, very clean. Nice metallic. Pants looks very nice. These are rubber pieces as well as the crotch piece underneath. And this texture goes all throughout, so it's pretty nice. And again with the chewed up sort of joints. Not sure what went on there with him. The boots are a nice shiny reflective plastic. And the shin guards look very relatively clean except for the knee parts here. I see some kind of scuffs going on there, or maybe molding issues. Yeah, not the cleanest one that they've released, but it still does look very good. Just under the camera it becomes way more apparent. And these pieces of the boot here are soft rubber, so you can actually get it up. Oops. A fair amount, and they will just flex. So yeah, and the back, nothing much to talk about there, except for that mist paint on the belt. But yeah, all in all, he looks very nice. Back of the head sculpt. Looks pretty decent. Not the best one, I think, but I think out of all of them, he might be the first fully clothed one, so I hope it's not indicative of future figures to come. So, set him down there, and we'll take a closer look at his articulation, and then we'll take a closer look at the accessories on him. Alright, so let's take a look at the articulation on Bison. His head does look up about that far. Perfect for those psycho crusher poses. Does look down about that far. Do have tilt. And of course swivel.
The shoulder joints go up about that far, down about that far, not too low. Because of the shoulder pad, you're going to have to rotate the shoulder to about maybe here. And then you could also bring it back about there. The butterfly joints do go back about that far and forward about that far. So pretty decent range. The elbow joints will get you about that much. The wrists do swivel and hinge. And these ones, I actually like these ones better than the previous figures because these are actually seated nicely down inside there and they don't feel like they're popping out. So that's nice. The torso and the waist have ball joints, so you can get a crazy amount of arch back. A decent amount of crunch. The legs kick up about that far. Kick back about that. They do split almost all the way. There's a thigh cut. The knees are double jointed. One, the top joint on the kneecap has the top piece of the armor and the bottom has the other. It's not the prettiest thing, but you know, if you wanted a deep bend, you can. If you want to keep the sculpt intact, I guess you could just use the top joint. The ankles, as mentioned, there's a rubber piece here, so the ankle can kick forward quite a nice way. Nice amount of range, and also move down off quite a bit. And of course, there's rocker. And something I always keep forgetting to do is the tilting of the waist joints. So that's about how much range you can get there. So yeah, really nice articulation, especially for such a bulky character. So just wanted to quickly show that you can actually achieve those Psycho Crusher poses, but you just need to turn the shoulder pad with the arm. And once you have it sort of on the back, the arms could go straight up. Of course, Psycho Crusher is more of a hold it onto this side sort of thing. We'll see if we can do it once we check out his accessories. Alright, so first up we'll take a look at his backdrop, which he comes with there. It's just a piece of cardboard, but I think it adds a lot. And if you're fortunate enough to have the space to display all the figures with their backdrops, I think that's will probably look amazing. So he does look pretty cool in front of it, and it is an accurate representation of how that stage looked. So yeah, not sure if you consider that an accessory, but I think it's a cool addition. They didn't have to do it. So first off, I'm going to take a look at his alternate head sculpt, which is the angry, gritted teeth look with the painted pupils. And I think the pupils do look a slight bit cross-eyed. That could just be me. Maybe I'm the cross-eyed one. But his emblem on his hat is painted very nice. And much like all the other Jada figures, this does pop on very easily. No problems. And it does look very cool. And mine does seem to have a mole of some sort on his face. But the eyes could also have been a little bit cleaner on this one, on the right hand side there. Seems like Bison is getting all of the paint issues. So next up, we'll take a look at his power representation, which is his Psycho Power, which is meant to put over his fist. So you can just see the space for the fist there, and you just slide it over. Then you can turn it however you wish. So if you wanted him in a punching sort of pose, just sort of definitely do something like that. Looks really nice. And then he does come with two fists in the package, of course. But he does also come with these gesture hands. Think of a couple uses for these, one of which we will try to use right now, which is seeing if we could actually get him into that Psycho Crusher pose, as we have the effect piece on him there. So I think we need to close in those arms a little bit, and then get this. Oops. Fix that after. So it would be something like that. And then the effect piece would, I guess, come over here. I mean, this probably ain't meant for this, for the Psycho Crusher, but it does seem to fit well enough. And you can get him in that pose once you have a stand. Fortunately, he doesn't come with one, but I think that's pretty cool. And his last accessory is one we've already seen, which is the cape. So as mentioned, you pop the back up. Oops, didn't mean to send it flying across the room. So you pop the back up, and it just comes off the front. You take your other cape and you put the front in first, and then clip in the back. Gotta hear that snap. This side, front in first, and the back. Then you could have, as mentioned before, it's a wired cape, so you can get all those cool windswept poses going on there. And yeah, he has a pretty nice spread of accessories there, can't complain. So let's move on to size comparisons, and then we'll close off this video. Alright, so for measurement, Bison stands around 6¼ inches tall at what we assume to be his head, but if you measure to the top of the hat, the peak there, it's about 6½ inches tall. Here he is standing next to the McFarlane Nightfall Batman. Here he is next to the Star Wars Black Series Mando. Here he is next to Darth Chester with his newfound Psycho Cheeto. And yeah, the figures you probably want to see him compared to the most is next to Ryu. Here he is next to Ken. He's next to Fei Long. Here he is next to Dalsim, recently reviewed as well. And here he is next to Chun-Li. So he is much taller than all of them. And here he is next to the Marvel Legends Ant-Man. So here's a look at how all the figures in the line look so far together. And I have to say, it looks real amazing. Can't wait to see how Guile, Camille, and DJ are gonna look in this display. So is the figure worth getting? I definitely think so. There are some issues on mine. Yours may not have these, but I have to point them out. The elbow joints, they look very chewed up. So I don't know if that might be some kind of a molding issue. Beyond that, I did have some sloppy paint on the belt, which is a black, so I'm not sure how come they did such a bad job on that one. But beyond that, the only aesthetic choice I think on this I would have changed is I would have done those the shin pads into knee pads. I would have done that in a soft rubber overlay, and I think that would have looked better. Because as it is, when you bend the joint, it looks bad. But beyond that, I think the figure is definitely worth it. Certainly a necessary character. And from the pictures, you'll see all the things you're probably hoping to see in terms of his moves and stuff. So stay tuned for that. You can pick this up on Big Bad Toy Store, Amazon, Entertainment Earth. This figure retails for usually around $24.99. I don't know if that would include shipping on the various sites, but you can still check it out. I have a link to Amazon in my description. But thanks for watching, and until next time, y'all take care.